Ladies and gentlemen, Legend in My Spare Time podcast.
This podcast is a proud member of the IHOP Network, the International House of Podcasts.
I believe that the first episode of the new era begins tonight.
Legend in My Spare Time.
Legend in My Spare Time contains themes and subjects that may not be suitable for everyone listening. If you're easily offended, we suggest you get your podcast on elsewhere.
Motherfucker.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. That's right, bitches. Legend in My Spare Time is back. Follow us at Legend Podcast on Twitter, hashtag LIMST. I'm here with the most exciting man in podcasting, the one and only Just Jonny, via the telephone. He's under house arrest these days, so we got to do it via Skype. Hello, Jonny.
Hello. Now that's going to set a story that I just can't follow.
Well, you just can't. You're not allowed to tell it yet. But when the statute of limitations runs down, you can tell that story, and until then, we can just tease it.
See, that's just making it worse.
Now, we love to use the hashtag Podern Family as well, because that connects us with other podcasts all around the world. Now, this is no exception tonight, because we have a guest from a podcast that I found through that very hashtag and fell in love with immediately, the Buffet Boys. What an awesome podcast. Now, we've got one of the Buffet Boys with us, the self-professed everybody's favorite Buffet Boy, Vic, a.k.a. Kodak Brown, checking in during his Buffet Boys hiatus. What's happening, my friend? Thank you for joining us all the way from California. Is that correct?
That's correct. Outside of LA, it's a pleasure to be on you guys' podcast. By the way, I got to say, you did a hell of a job with that story on the last episode. I got a little, jump start in being able to listen to it ahead of time. But it really fit in really well with your Halloween special, man. So
thank you.
Congrats on making such a good episode.
Thank you very much. I worked hard for those 32 views, God damn it. And I'm proud of each and every one of them, even though if 3 of them are me and 6 of them are my mama.
But 2 of them are mine, at least.
That's right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the second view, brother. And I appreciate the cameo appearance as well. Those listeners may not know. He was our 911 operator.
Yes.
Nice.
And we want to say
really well.
Yeah, we want to say thank you to Colin R. Parsons, a.k.a. Jake Ridge, for putting that story together for us. I've been asking him for years, like teasing him since I've known him, like, hey, man, Matt's a good name for a character, Hey, what about a story about a podcaster, man? That'd be cool. Finally puts me in a story and has me die a slow, painful, gruesome death. But we appreciate it anyway. My favorite review was, well, that's a happy story. Ew. That was my favorite review. So, yes, thank you. And speaking of podcasts, man, thank you for being here. What is up with the Buffet Boys?
So, we've done tons of episodes. We've started getting into the whole interview game. We interviewed the infamous Freeway Ricky Ross, which was a giant kingpin, a drug dealer out here in LA in the 80s. But we've recently, had some life events going on, just life happening. So we've put it a little bit on the back shelf. We have plans on returning. It's just a matter of really getting the momentum going and starting over. Yeah. But we are coming back, and we'll be using that hashtag Podern Family for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it'll be nice to have you back, but people probably don't understand, and even Just Jonny might understand this now. Podcasting takes a lot out of you, both emotionally as well, because you have to kind of be on for an hour. You have to have something to talk about. You have to try to be interesting, not just cuss at each other. Once you do get firing up, it'll be great. I mean, I understand. I've been doing this thing for almost 10 years now. 10 years now. And
Jeez,
we haven't even gotten to 200 episodes. So.
Oh, boy.
Now, Just Jonny, we had another review recently, all the way from Australia.
Whoa.
From our new friend from Ozzy and the Palm, Nate. His review was, I would say, if you're not a fan of the swearing, I would avoid that one. I don't really fucking understand what the fuck that fucking means, but there you have it.
Shit.
See, what you should do at the beginning of the podcast is give a warning.
Yeah, some explicit content listeners I think we might do that
And if
already.
you don't like it, get your podcast on somewhere else.
That's right. So
elsewhere, right? Yeah, something like that.
That's right. Please excuse yourself from tonight's proceedings or something like that.
Get the fuck out.
That's right. Exactly. I can remember
I can listen to the Buffet Boys, but we're not much better.
That's right. You guys do cuss too. My favorite part of every Buffet Boys, though, is always when you two just kind of chops at each other for a few seconds. It never happens very much, but there are a few moments where one of you would just be like, "Yo, shut up." Because somebody just kind of cuts deep for a second. Those are really, really cool moments. Have you and Eb known each other a long time? Is that how kind of the podcast came about? Because you were longtime buddies, or were you two people that wanted to do a podcast and kind of landed with each other?
No, not at all. We've actually known each other for a really long time. We went to high school together, so I graduated in 2003, and he did in 2002. So I've known him for quite a bit, over 10 years.
Yeah.
And we would pretty much just hang out on my porch almost every day and just kind of talk shit and talk life, talk politics, talk whatever. And it always had a little a little spiciness, and we'd always go back and forth and always be entertaining, and then we'd have other people that would join us and hang out, and they would just laugh their ass off. So when we started, thinking about podcasting, we thought it would be a natural fit, and that's kind of our vibe. We do that. We, do politics. We do things that are interesting, and everything in between.
Yeah, and it is a pleasure to listen to because you're longtime buddies. When you think back of the best podcasts, it's always podcasts that are with friends. Those are usually the best chemistry you get. Now,
the thing I think it's the most interesting, actually, most people think we're in the same room while we're podcasting, and we're actually maybe 60 miles apart. And through the magic of a little bit of editing, we both record our own end. It does. I mean, also the chemistry. We kind of sound like we're looking at each other and kind of riffing at each other, and it works out well. We've gotten a lot of great compliments as far as people finding out, like, oh shit, you guys are doing it over a call or over Skype or however we do it.
Yeah, and I mean, even professed sound guy that I am, it took me a while. I got you motherfuckers eventually. But at first, I also thought you guys were in the same room together, for sure. Especially with the ending, with the synchronized ending of the peace. There's no way I could get Just John to coordinate with that, to do that with me.
Yeah, I don't know if you keep them on. Some of the ones where you're doing the closeout, and I'm just there sort of listening to you. And you're like, dude, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he just kind of looks at me like a puppy.
We're in the same room and can't do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I guess. So anyway, look, we're glad. Please.
Yeah. Well, that synchronicity is kind of a product of doing. I think we're at 70 episodes or something now, and the first 50 episodes weren't as smooth as the end, But once we got a little routine going. As podcasters, just the routine kind of helps develop the podcast. So we're kind of, we're getting into that deep, early, close to 100 episodes, and we're starting to finally catch our feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I really like the interviews. I thought you guys did great. I imagine you were really nervous doing them. Because I definitely would have been, especially getting in the room with someone. I've done interviews over Skype, and I've done them in person, and in person is a whole other thing because sometimes they look at you, man, and you're like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. But my favorite are definitely just the standard format of you guys just shooting the breeze.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. The interviews are really interesting, and they're kind of like excuse me. They're kind of just a different throw at podcasting, something to mix it up a little bit. And when we got the interview to, for instance, interview Freeway Ricky Ross, it was something we had to jump on, especially being from LA. He was such for better or for worse, he was such a big part of the 80s history in LA that we had to jump on it. And he was nice enough to come in. And, one of the things that took a little of the intimidation away was he's not that big of a guy. He doesn't look like he's going to rip your head off. So,
right. I was going to ask, how intimidating is that to be in the room with an infamous, allegedly drug dealer? Do we have to say allegedly?
Let's just stay with allegedly.
Cool.
He did get convicted of certain crimes. If you listen to the episode, if you go back, he did get convicted of certain things, and his story is really interesting. But let's just stick with allegedly.
That's fair.
Allegedly.
Now, so speaking of podcasts, and well, you met how you met your podcast partner. I met this cohort over here when he worked at the movie theater at the cinema.
Okay.
And on the first night we talked Wolverine, and then he gave me Stolen Property. Isn't that right, Just Jonny? Speaking of allegedly.
Whoa, alleged. It wasn't stolen.
Well,
until after you took it out.
Fair enough.
You stole it, not me.
Yeah, you just gave it to me. You set me up with a life-size Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, wasn't it?
Oh, Lord. Why would you want that?
Well, if that's not the start of a beautiful friendship, I don't know what is.
This was before the film came out. We didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know yet. The movie wasn't out yet. We were like, yo, Green Lantern, this is going to be badass. And it was just bad in general.
It's bad, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is hilarious.
Maybe one day he'll do a different superhero movie.
Yeah, maybe one that's good.
So
he did. Didn't he do? He did Deadpool.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to be like funny, like I was playing. I was playing me before we saw Green Lantern. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think he killed it in the Wolverine film as Deadpool.
Yes, he certainly did. Now I went to the movies today. Now, Just Jonny's known me a long time. And Kodak Brown is a listener of the podcast, so you know I have a short fuse, and you probably know how much I don't like people, and I don't like the fucking crinkling and the rattling and the... Right, so 11:40 a.m. this morning, I take my wife and my mom to see the new Disney movie, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
You could have said horror film.
So I didn't really think much into it. And then the movie starts at first, and it's ballet. It's literally what you think it is. And I'm thinking, I've made a terrible mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, but now I'm in. Now, I'll say by the end of the movie, it wasn't as nearly as bad as I feared. And I did enjoy some, a little bit of it. A little bit slow. Not really for me, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, of course, you get the constant crinkling. I don't understand why people have to eat for the entirety of the running time of the movie. Like I'm like, I brought a hot dog in and I ate that fucker, but I didn't eat constantly for the entire movie. But constantly you've got rattle, 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 including this little girl next to me. Now the lights are down already, and you got annoying mom and kid a few seats away from us. Kid who is the entire time. The mom's playing with her phone, and suddenly the flash goes off because she's taking a picture of her daughter at the movies. Then,
says that this isn't going to end well.
2 rows behind us, another flash goes off. So it is now a thing, ladies and gentlemen, to take photographs of your children in their seats at the movie theater so that you can post it on social media. How do we feel about this bullshit?
I'm for it.
Are you just trying to make me angry?
A little bit.
Did we lose you, Vic?
I think we lost Vic.
Is that you fiddling?
Yeah.
That's very weird. Hello. Don't you love multiple people on Skype?
It's going to be like, what's his name? Not Steve.
Yeah, we did lose Steve a lot of times, didn't we?
This was my mistake. I accidentally turned off the Wi-Fi.
Nice.
Like a professional podcaster.
That's right. Well, I have the opening clip for the show now.
Oh, boy. All right. Sorry about that,
All right.
fellas.
So I was telling you about the movies. How far did you get?
I think we were at, I have a short fuse.
Okay. So, all right. So we go to see, with my mom and my wife, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms.
No.
Right? So there's your...
Yeah.
And as I said, I didn't really think about it. The movie starts and I see it's all ballet dancing and I'm like, I've made a tremendous mistake. This is a huge error in judgment. I don't know what I was thinking. Now, by the end of the movie, I didn't hate it. I did enjoy it. But You know, again, at first I was like, oh, there's going to be all dancing. What the fuck was I thinking? Anyway, there's annoying people all around you, as there are, not including my two people next to me, of course. But you've got an annoying lady to my left with her daughter who's constantly chewing. I don't understand why people have to eat for the entire running time of the movie. I like to get my munch on, but they have to eat constantly, so it's a constant rattle and crinkle. Now, there's a new thing. So all of a sudden, because the mom is playing with her phone through the movie, of course, she leans over.
Was it like all through the movie?
Pretty much. And I'll get to this other motherfucker 2 rows in front of me next. Now, all of a sudden, there I am eating my hot dog. So I'm not innocent of the eating thing, but I do my eating during the trailers like a respectable human being, and then I keep my mouth shut during the movie, even when it is Nutcracker in the Four Realms. Anyway, so suddenly a camera flash goes off because this mom has taken a picture of her kid in the seat at the movies.
Oh, cool.
So this is now a new thing. We're now taking photos in the movies because then a few rows behind me goes off again. So now another parent is taking a picture. So what say you about that, Vic? We're now taking photos because Just Jonny, when he's trying to poke the bear, told me he's all for it. He said he thinks it's a good idea. So what do you think?
No, come on. He's just trolling now. You know, how could that be a good idea? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you getting out of that picture? You're getting nothing. You're getting a blank screen because the flash is going to overpower everything else. Or a seat? What? I don't understand the souvenir of that picture.
No, or me munching on a hot dog. Like, I don't want my picture taken right now. I thought I was in the dark.
I come here because it's dark and quiet.
There are not many places I'm comfortable enough to eat a hot dog, and I definitely don't want my picture taken in those places, you know? Nobody eats a hot dog sexy, okay? That's what I'm here to tell you. And I don't need this lady taking my picture.
Man.
But yeah, I know, right? Speak for yourself.
Okay, fair enough. I know I don't. Anyway, so there's multiple pictures going off. There's a little kid over to the side here who did not shut the fuck up the entire movie. Now, she's a small child. Is it her fault? No. But it is her parents' fault. Am I right? If she can't keep her mouth shut, don't take her to the movies, right?
100%.
This was not a kid's movie, by the way, either.
Though.
Huh?
I know parents that I know adults that do that too. They just don't shut the fuck up and watch the movie. I don't get it.
Right? Like, let's think about some other people except for ourselves, right?
Yes. The only time you can talk in a movie theater is during the trailer. When you nudge your friend and say, that looks terrible.
Yeah. Exactly. Now that's usually what Just Jonny and I'll do as well, and we may make a few quiet comments, but the noise and the rattling it's enough already. Now
I'm with you.
Now the little girl who won't shut up to our front left. Guess what happens now? I see the phone out, and then I see the phone go to landscape mode. And I'm like, oh, don't tell me to entertain this kid. You're about to put on a YouTube video in the movie theater.
Oh, man.
So this is what society has come to, man. So I don't want to go outside anymore. My wife makes me, but ultimately, this movie will be on my friggin' my cable box for rental for like $6 in a few weeks. I don't have to go outside and see anybody.
Yeah, I usually go to the movies during the daytime when there aren't kids around. So, you know, I don't usually have that problem, but I don't like to watch. Now, granted, I have been tricked into watching a movie, and there were lots of kids around, and that movie was Frozen. I didn't know what it was. One of my friends was in town, and she's like, hey, we're going to go watch this movie. Do you want to come? I'm like, sure. And ended up being Frozen. And there was about 5 million little kids around, and I almost lost my shit.
So you had the same moment that I had at the Nutcracker. You went, I've made a tremendous mistake.
Uh-huh.
I mean, way over my head.
Granted, I did like the movie a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
as terrible as that sounds.
No, it's okay. I like the Nutcracker and the fucking Four Realms a little bit, so it's okay. It's okay.
All right. No judgment.
No judgment here. This is a judgment-free podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you'll be aware, Vic, every week I ask Just John a question because he is the most exciting man in podcasting. So, Just Jonny, what have you been up to since our last episode, sir? Drum roll, please.
With a guest on as well. No pressure.
One day we're going to do this in front of a live crowd of a lot of people, hopefully, and I can't wait to see how scared you look.
I'm gonna say climbing. I went rock climbing.
Well, there you go. That's something manly. I haven't done anything nearly that manly.
I have offered to take you as well.
Yeah.
What was your words? Polite.
I'd rather shit in my own hands and clap. Is what I think I said. 1, scared of heights. 2, incredibly out of shape. 3, not that interested. Again, it's the outside, it's the people, it's the public, it's the thing, and you gotta. There's no.
Well, you're indoors because we haven't got the equipment to go outdoors. Then you also don't need to worry about the heights because the rope will catch you. And it's just like climbing a ladder. It's like walking upstairs.
Yeah, right.
Put up, step up.
The rope doesn't eliminate the height fear. It just doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
And plus, you said it's like walking upstairs. Okay, well, who enjoys walking upstairs? Fucking nobody. What are you talking about? It's like climbing upstairs. Again, not interested.
They invented an elevator for that reason.
That's right. I'm also very aware of the fact that at some point I'm going to slip, fall. I'm going to hurt myself. I might cry. No. And with all the boys and all these camera phones, there's no way I'm not going to be made to look like a bitch on Instagram. No chance.
See, now, to a degree, yes, you might fall. Everyone falls, but that's where the rope catches you. As long as you don't
falls?
Yeah.
Are you trying to sell this to me?
Well, I fell many a times, and look, I'm still here.
Yeah, but you kind of walk with a twitch and say funny things sometimes.
Yeah, but I think that was always there.
Maybe it was. All right, so you've been rock climbing a bunch of times.
Yes.
I'm too frightened.
And, we also... I know the rope will catch me. I've fallen so many times. I know the rope is going to hold me. And even, like, Kyle was there. He's a lot lighter than me. He catches me because of the rope and maths and pulleys.
All right. But what's this thing about...
He's like, how are you not scared from falling? And I'm like, well, I know the rope's got me.
Yeah. But what's this thing you were using that was an expired part or something? Huh?
Oh.
Yeah, that's right, Vic. He's trying to sneak up on us, man. Make it sound like we're going for a walk in the woods or something. He's using... What was it? Come on, out with it.
It was just climbing rope.
Right. And what was wrong with it?
I don't know. I found it. According to Google, if you don't really use the rope, it can last up to 10 years.
Right.
About 12 years ago, I found some rope outdoors up a mountain.
Oh, gosh.
And, yeah, we used it, and it was fine. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever used it, was recently when I started going climbing.
Okay, so strike, what are we at, 4?
That rope could be 100 years old for all you know, because you found it.
Right.
Yep. I'm thinking I think I have to pay it forward. I think I have to go find rope and go hide it. Just hide my rope now, because, I've had it for longer than 10 years. Pay it forward. Someone else can make good use out of it.
I think that's manslaughter, man.
No, is it though? if you find a knife and then you cut, you stab yourself, is that on the person who dropped the knife or the person who finds it?
It depends on your intentions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in my conversation with Vic and Just Jonny, we had a little bit of a technical snafu, if you will, and we lost just a couple of seconds of the conversation. So I thought that was the perfect opportunity to drop in right here to sneak in and backdoor all of you, just to let you know that this week's episode of Legend in My Spare Time is brought to you by The Earth Is Ours from Krishada Games. Their Kickstarter is running right now at krishada.com/Kickstarter. That's Krishada, KRISHADA.com/Kickstarter. This game is bringing back old school gaming, sitting around with your family and friends, an interactive card game. You can get your hands on something that isn't a controller. Behave yourselves. The Earth is Ours. The Kickstarter is running right now. Check it out. Now, that's not the only reason I'm here. I also wanted to touch base on something else. As Vic mentioned here in the start of our conversation, last week we did our Halloween special, the LiMST-A-Ween 2018. Hey, that rhymes. Where our good friend Colin R. Parsons, under the pseudonym of Jake Ridge, wrote us that original story that we turned into a gross, nasty radio drama. Now, we've had some feedback from a loyal friend and a loyal listener, Dr. Squee from the Gallifrey Stands podcast. He wanted to discuss something that happened last week in the Halloween show, but not the actual story itself, a different segment. Let's take a look at what Dr. Squee had to say about last week's episode. Hey, Squee, go ahead.
Hey, Matt Lees, this is Squee from the Gallifrey Stands podcast. As you can hear in the background, that's Dotty Who. Just wanted to give you some praise and love for that amazing Halloween story you did. It's a credit to both you as narrator and the writer who put it together. Amazing. I really appreciated it. You know what I didn't appreciate though, sir? And I'm sorry, I have to pick this particular bone. It's your segment with the granddad jokes from... Is it Tony? Whatever that guy's called. I got a bone to pick right there. He made one particular joke. I mean, I usually enjoy the segment. Who doesn't? What's not to love? It's a segment where you get out the old dad jokes, much to the chagrins of Just Jonny. Perfect little feature. However, what was not so wonderful was when he did the particular joke, and I quote, "Why are cemeteries such noisy places? Because of all the coughing." Does he even listen to the podcast he's on? Does he not remember 2 Halloweens ago when I did a, quite frankly, masterful 5-minute audio drama practically in itself of that same joke? Does he not remember me milking every little syntax out of it? Adding special effects, adding dramatic pauses, like it had everything. It was the only thing it was missing was a redemptive story arc for the characters. So quite frankly, Tony dad jokes, all I'd request is stay in your f***ing lane, mister. And that was a wonderful show, and good work, guys. Speak to you soon. Much love, Dr. Squee and Dotty Who.
Ooh, Squee. I can feel your anger growing inside you. Listen, I'll talk to Tony Granddad Jokes, the host of our Granddad Joke segment here on Legend in My Spare Time. Now, I would never presume to speak for Tony, but I can assume, with respect, Doctor, that Tony does not give a damn and will probably still say he made up the joke, and I can assure you he does not listen to this podcast. I can assure you he does not listen to this podcast, even though he is on it. Anyway, look, speaking of podcasts, big news this week from the Legend in My Spare Time crew. As you may have noticed on our Twitter account at Legend Podcast, it has lit up recently because we, myself, Just Jonny, Legend in My Spare Time Podcast, are proud to announce that we have been asked to join the International House of Podcast Network. That's right, baby. Going big time, doing big man tings, as the Buffet Boys would say. Now, the International House of Podcast Network is a great group of podcasts from all around the globe, including our friends over at Dinner and a Podcast. That's right, Steve, Joe, Mike, and Sevi, Dinner and a Podcast. Check them out at Dinner Podcast on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to all the shows on the IHOP Network. See what we did there? IHOP Network. Anyway, also on that very network, Not Another Nerdy Podcast. I was new to these guys when we first all grouped up. I have marathoned quite a few episodes, and I gotta say, legit, I am a fan of this show, and I enjoy the fuck out of a good old rant from their rant master. So make sure you go listen to that, because longtime listeners of this show will know I am prone to a good rant and making my co-host uncomfortable with it. So I have a big, soft place in my heart for Tom Van Zandt over at Not Another Nerdy Podcast. But I got it. I like them all. I'm just saying. As we know, from my hashtag man crush on Mike from dinner in a podcast. I guess I always got to pick a favorite. Also, the Dudes in Toyland podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm a toy guy. I am surrounded right now by toys, collectibles, all sorts of things. Now, these guys are all about buying, collecting, customizing, and restoring toys. Definitely an interesting listen, definitely something different, but always awesome. Check them out because they are Toy Dudes Pod on Twitter, and the Not Podcast Boys are literally that, Not Podcast 1 on Twitter. All right, you've also got the Gooners Podcast, formerly Gooners in the USA, a very unique Arsenal podcast. That is a podcast around Arsenal Football Club. I'm going to be diplomatic about my views about Arsenal Football Club. Fantastic podcast. Questionable content, but I'll leave it at that. We don't want to start any hashtag pod beefs this soon, you know. Of course, ourselves, legend in my spare time. Look at that. I even said my own show's name wrong. It's okay. We're also hooked up with Ozzy and the Palm. Follow them, Ozzy_the Palm on Twitter. These guys are awesome. Very funny show. Two guys chatting. One guy's in England. One guy's in Australia. And I don't know if it's racist, but I've always wanted to have an Australian buddy. So I'm really glad that Ozzy and the Palm are on board. Is that right? It can't be racist if it's a positive thing, right? Who knows? Listen, they have a great show. Very funny stuff. They did something in one of the recent episodes. I was in the canteen at work because, you know, I'm Mr. Antisocial. I like to go to lunch by myself. Nothing wrong with that sometimes, you know. So I'm sitting there eating by myself with my headphones in. Our man Nate over at Ozzy and the Palm starts to describe his post-snip cock. That's right, you heard me. And I giggled. I lolled to myself. And people looked at me, man. You'll have to go and listen to that episode. He also gave us a great review in which he said, if you don't like swearing, I'd avoid that show. Fucking right, buddy. So, thank you very much. And also then we've got the Kurtzokitsi show. I probably said that wrong. I do apologize. That is a football show also. Now, that's, I believe, with our man from Ozzy and the Palm as well. I believe. Now listen, please check out the IHOP Network. Please check out all the shows on the very network. It is IHOP Network on Twitter. Subscribe to all the shows. Support us because we're just trying to kind of make our bubbles bigger, make our groups bigger, get more listeners, so welcome. We have seen an increase in listeners, too, since joining. So thank you very much. Welcome to all the new listeners. Please feel free to interact with us, tweet at us, email us hatred for Just Jonny, legendinmypodcast@gmail.com, or email him some love, because he'd really like that. You know, he'd really appreciate that. It would make him giggle. It'd be nice. So listen, at Legend Podcast on Twitter. That's me. That's enough. Let's get back to my chat with Vic and with Just Jonny, and we'll see you all on our next episode of your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. Make sure you use the hashtag LIMST.
Out, you're like climbing across the ceiling and then back up again. And I said to the boys, I was like, I want to do that, but we are not doing it with this rope.
Yeah, you should just go get a new rope if you insist, man. I mean, come on.
No, I will. I'm going to get one.
It's terrifying.
It just sounds like there's going to be some good podcasting material soon.
Yeah. When one of these fucking dudes falls down. But it is not going to be me. I said I would go along. I'll get a slice of pizza, sit in the thing, and watch you crazy boys. And I know that's very grandfather of me, but that's how I roll, man. I'm the Grinch all year round, you know?
We did this thing. It's called fall training. You basically climb up a wall. You leave the rope slack quite a bit, and then you just jump off the wall. And it catches you.
Fuck you.
But you do fall for like 6 to 8 feet before it catches you. And
no.
I think Jordan went first.
No.
He came down here, he was shaking, sweating. Nathan was like he just ran a marathon. He was sweating. he was shitting himself. And when he jumped off, I was the guy at the bottom securing him. I came up and I probably could have just slapped his ass. He was that close to me. He looked down and he was just like, oh my fucking God.
And were you using the rope you found that DB Cooper dropped when you did this?
No. This was rope that they had, their rope.
Did you jump off this thing?
I did.
Listen,
they were all like, you got to go. You've never done it. I was like, I've done this hundreds of times. And they're like, no, you haven't. No, you haven't. So I was like, okay.
And had you done it hundreds of times?
Quite well, not hundreds of times, but I've done it quite a lot. So I just climbed up, jumped off, and they were like, how are you not scared? I'm like, I've fallen. I know the rope is going to catch me.
Look, man, don't hurt yourself on that thing because I ain't trying to look for another new podcast host, okay? I want some advice from you two gentlemen, if I may. And then I believe we're going to play a game. Am I right?
Yep. I got a game for you.
All right, excellent. I can't wait. Now, first, let's talk about... Now, sometimes we all get weird things in the post.
Yeah.
I got something really weird in the mail the other day. Now, I've sent a photograph. Well, Just Jonny has seen it in person, and Kodak, I just sent you photos of them. So I come home one day, and I find a little envelope, and I'll post on the Facebook group and all our things, the pictures, covered in strange Asian lettering, designated operator, Georgia Post, all these different things. Now, here's the weird part. It is addressed to my address. So immediately, I check sort of like my Amazon and my eBay accounts, and I'm like, well, did I order something and they sent me the wrong thing? Never know. So I also look at my accounts because a long time ago on Facebook, I used the name Nature Boy. Nature Boy Matt Lees was my Facebook name, probably years ago. I don't use it on anything else. This post came for Nature Boy Matt Lees.
Uh-oh.
Now, again, small little envelope that says Port Pay, Georgia. And when you open it up, again, covered in, it says made in China. And it also says Note 9. And what I've got inside here are two little red slips of plastic. Or something. I have no idea what these things are. I didn't order them. I don't know who sent them to me. I don't even really know what they are. It does say in English, Note 9. Now, Just Jonny has a Note 9, so I thought maybe he got me to order something and I forgot about it. And I asked him, to which he said nope. And he looked at these things. He has no idea what the hell they are.
No idea.
So,
they're crazy.
It says, if undelivered, please return to Tbilisi, Tbillsi, Georgia. 198-13878 is the P.O. box. I don't understand what these things are and why they're addressed to a name I haven't used in years.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Now, part of
you're
me,
going to get murdered.
You think, right? This is the beginning of the movie, right? Part of me wants to give him to Sexy Dave to see if they're acid, because I know he'll drop that shit.
Oh, shit.
But I don't know what these things are. I don't know what to do with them. I guess I could have just let it go back to the place, but that's weird, right?
100%.
So there we are. Now, that's, I'm frightened. Just Jonny, do you have access there to type into anything?
What was that, sorry?
Do you have access there to type something in? Search this up for us. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
TB. IL.
Hang
on a sec. ISI.
Oh, I don't know how you pronounce it. Tbilisi is the capital country of Georgia.
Okay.
Cobblestoned old town reflects a long, complicated history.
What?
Let's have a look. Population 1.14 million.
Uh-huh.
It's 10 to 11 Sunday evening. It looks lush. It looks something out of Game of Thrones. Castle on a hill. But yeah, I have no idea. Well,
why is one of these guys sending me Note 9 acid?
Let's have a look. Yeah, if you type in Tbilisi and then Note 9, it literally just says just for Note 9 and deletes the word Tbilisi.
Huh. Well, I'm frightened. Anybody else?
Yeah.
You know,
no, because they haven't come to me.
Well, yeah,
so
but
I'm fine.
you're both on. You're both on the thing now, so you're both in danger.
Oh, no.
You're both in danger because your character's in the story now. So you might as well try to help me.
I'm the long distance friend that has nothing to do with this story.
Yeah, but sometimes that's really creepy because they need that thing before they go to commercial break, where it's like, why would the murder happen all the way over here?
True.
I'll tell you what I'm doing with this. I'm putting it back inside the creepy little envelope it came in, and I'm chucking it in the storage bin underneath me, and we ain't going to talk about it anymore. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
I don't know. I think we could have some fun with this.
All right, how about I give it to you? You keep it at your house.
Oh no, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay,
I've got plenty.
Now, that's what I thought. Now, we were going to play a game this evening. I'm very excited by that. Thanks very much, Vic, for preparing that for us. Just before we jump to that, did you prepare a three-peat?
I did prepare a three-peat. I prepared a whole bunch of stuff.
Nice. Well, go ahead.
I prepared the slang too for, local slang here. Three-peat and the game. So whichever you want to do, we can do.
Well, let's do
whatever you.
Let's do them all. And what we can do is, I didn't come up with as much Welsh slang as I wanted, but you can challenge me and Just Jonny with your slang terms. That'll be fun.
Okay.
We'll do three-peat, and I'm sure it's going to go a lot better than it did with Steve because that took us like 32 takes for real. No kayfabe, 32 takes. I think it was insane. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to play three-peat. Three-peat, of course, is the game where we ask our guest, this week Vic from the Buffet Boys, to name three things. That's 1, 2, 3 things that he wants to relive for the first time if I've got my Men in Black neuralizer and I can erase those 3 things from his brain. It can be an experience, it can be a movie, a book, a song, anything like that. So, Vic, hit me with number 1 for your three-peat.
So my number 1 is actually a movie, and that movie is Cool Runnings.
Nice.
I would definitely go back and experience that for the first time again. The first time I watched it was actually a screening. So before it got released in theaters, living in LA, we have the privy to some of that early access business. And, I got to see it as a kid, and I got to give my feedback before they officially released. But that's one of my favorite movies of all time. John Candy, Dougie Doug. You can't go wrong.
It's an amazing movie. I'm a typical grumpy old man, but they do not make them like that anymore.
Mm-mm.
I love that movie, and I love John Candy. Again, a tragedy that we lost him so early. Because they don't make dudes like him anymore. And I think even over here, was Cool Runnings even big over here, Just Jonny?
It was. Well, I watched it when I was younger. I loved it. Like I'm assuming it was because I've seen it.
And I mean, even today, my wife will often say to me, "Sanka, you're dead, man."
Yeah.
It just falls into your speech.
It's my lucky egg, yeah.
Yeah, man. Or sometimes I'll say, "You can go pee now." And she'll say, too late.
Too late.
All right, so what's your number 2 for that three-peat?
So my number 2 would actually be to re-experience my first concert.
Nice.
And
very nice.
And my very first concert ever was actually a free concert in Las Vegas with my 2 favorite bands of all time, the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Weezer.
Nice.
And it was, like I said, it was free. It was a destination concert, and I've seen both of them multiple times now, and they were actually really, really on point that night for them. And it was absolutely amazing. 60,000 people. I was near the front. I want to relive that again. It was absolutely a phenomenal experience.
That's an insane one. That's a really great choice. First person to pick a concert in three-peat, I think. But that's awesome. That's a great first concert. I'd love to relive mine too if I could, because I was too young to appreciate it. But I saw Elton John, Eric Clapton in one concert where they brought out Brian May to jam with them.
Wow, that would be an interesting show to go to. I would love to go to that. I want to see Elton John before he stops doing what he does, which is soon, right? I think, isn't he retiring?
Yeah, he's doing his farewell tour right now, I think.
I might have missed it already then.
Yeah, you might have. But that was my first concert. Johnny, what was your first concert?
I'm trying to think. I can't remember
The
whether
most exciting
it was.
man in podcasting, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it was a long time ago. There was a small kind of famous place that a lot of bands used to play in Newport. So it's like not really the capital, not a big town. The TJ's, and it was like one of the staple places that a lot of rock bands used to play over here.
Is that not where Nirvana, Kurt Cobain proposed to that crazy chick he married?
Yes, Courtney Love.
Yeah, that happened right here in front of that club, right in Newport.
And I'm pretty sure my first one was Offspring.
Oh, that's a good show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was in, I'm sure it was in TJ's.
Nice. That's a cool one. All right, so.
That one would be, but again, I think this is like my sister was really into it, and I went with her. I think it was before I really understood,
Yeah. I think that would have been the album around the time when the album was You Gotta Keep Them Separated.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Nice. Did that make you nervous? Did that make you nervous, Vic? Because you were like, "Yo, he does got that music knowledge." Maybe. That's a hint to our game later, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll be all right. I think it's a good game, and I think you'll be able to get some points, but we'll see.
I'm also really awesome under pressure, so this is going to go really well. And Just John does not at all wilt like a little flower. No way. He'll be until the end.
If it's music related, then you might as well just not even play with me.
Oh, gosh.
If films are involved, I might have a shot.
All right, so
we might as well not play the game then.
if it's music related, it's yeah.
You just be there, my pep talk. You can just say things like, "Well done, Matt." That's true.
I was going to say that.
Correct. Good. Awesome. So for 3, Pete, Vic, what's your number 3?
My very first vacation as an adult,
Nice.
which I went to Oahu, Hawaii, and it was like probably the best 7 days I've ever had in my life. Which I got to visit, a beautiful place. But I also got to meet Ziggy Marley on a random, completely interesting, weird event. Like I was just out in the water, and he literally walked up to the sand right in front of us, and it was awesome. He was really cool. It just was a great trip altogether, and that definitely was a highlight. And when that's a highlight to a place that, is paradise, you had a good trip.
That's very true. Yeah, that's an excellent one. Vacation. That sounds like a ride, especially when it's your first one as an adult with all your friends. I bet there was some tomfoolery there, boy.
You know what? It was more of a just adventuring and really checking out like the beauty that the earth can provide. And Hawaii has lots of it,
Yeah,
So,
and that was your first trip with the lads, as it were.
it was with a friend. So we got to see a really good concert, and then we adventured the rest of the 6 days, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you for playing 3, Pete. We'll see that game next time. That one went a lot better than it did with Steve from Dinner and a Podcast. I'll tell you that much. To no fault of Steve, of course, but man, that internet connection was rough.
Yeah.
All right, so Just Johnny, do you want to do the slang now because you're not going to play the music game, or shall we do the music game and you come in for a strong finish with the slang game? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm easy. I don't mind.
You are easy. That's what I heard, and that's what I saw written on a toilet wall. All right, let's do that music game. Mr. Kodak Brown prepared a game for us here, and let's see what you got for us.
All right, so the game is essentially to guess the name of the album or the band.
Okay.
And this is all 90s music. So I'll give you a couple of the tracks, and they'll obviously get more obvious for that album as we go.
All right. And I'm assuming the points they mean less the easier the clue. Yes. Is that correct?
Exactly. And if you guess the name and the band, you get a point for each.
All right, come on, Just Johnny.
All right,
yeah, you are going down.
Us against the world, brother. Us against the world.
But you guys are doing it as a team, so maybe you can put your heads together and scratch together these albums.
If we put our heads together, we will have to scratch.
and I'll have a money ball at the end, and this one's gonna be, well, you'll see.
Like,
It'll be
like LL
a
Cool J?
charity.
Like LL Cool
It'll be
J?
No, it'll be a charity ball for you.
All right.
See, you say Moneyball. I was just thinking Brad Pitt, Jonah.
I'm just
Jonah
glad. I'm just glad nobody made a joke. I'm just glad nobody made a joke about me having one ball yet. You know, there it is. All right, so.
Well, that is the money ball, you know.
There you go. It's not money balls. I got it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. Just Johnny, you ready? Are you doing jumping jacks right now? Are you ready?
No, I'm already ready. I am.
The most exciting man in podcasting, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it.
All right, so the first hint for this first album is Funky Monks.
Funky Monks.
Mm-hmm.
Funky butt loving.
Just let me know if you want me to keep going.
That's what she said. Johnny, are we going to need another clue?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Now, I'm going to make a rant. Like, do I lose if I make a guess, or do I get to keep going?
No, you can keep going.
So I can just guess a bunch of times.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not in the spirit of the game.
All right. All right, fine. Let's go one more. I have an idea, but I don't want to waste it and disparage the integrity of the game. So,
okay,
let's go.
Suck My Kiss.
What was that?
Suck My Kiss.
Okay.
Is it Kiss?
Wait, are you jumping out and taking a guess right away without discussing it with me?
Like, maybe.
Are we gonna have to institute a final answer rule?
So,
yeah, you can just say final answer.
Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah, I think Matt. Yeah, it's all on you for final answer because I got nothing.
All right, fine. Suck My Kiss. I really want to. I really think that's an Aerosmith song, man.
Yeah, I just guessed Kiss because it had the word Kiss in it.
I know, but then when you said that, I wasn't like, no, stupid. I was like, oh, he could be right. All right, so do we get the same amount of points no matter how many clues we get?
No. If you get them progressively less as the more clues come out.
All right, so if I get one more clue and we get it right, how many points will we get?
You'll get 2.
All right, that's a good start. Let's have another clue.
All right, Under the Bridge.
Yeah, this is on you.
90s music.
Under the Bridge is Chili Peppers.
Is this?
Right?
It is.
It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All right.
Yes.
Now, do I need the album?
Can you guess the album? You could. If you get the album, you get another point. So you'll have 4 points at the end of this round.
Is the album Under the Bridge?
It's not. It's not.
We got 1 point, Johnny.
You got 3 points, actually.
3.
You got the name, and you got it on the third clue.
I am awesome at math. Let's roll.
Are they in order by any chance, or are they just random off the album?
No, I picked the ones that would be less obvious first, but something you might have heard.
Okay.
And they go to the more obvious songs.
Sometimes over here, they would have like the UK release or European release in a different order. Yes. So I was relying on that for me not knowing. But yeah, I can't use that now.
No, you can't. All right, let's go.
This one, this is the second one. I expect you boys to know this one.
Shit.
So much pressure.
So the first clue is Roll With It.
Roll with it.
You gotta roll with it. You gotta take your time. You gotta say what you say. Don't let anybody get in your way. Because it's Oasis.
Yes. Album name.
What's the Story, Morning Glory?
Named?
It is What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Oh, shit. How many points?
You got 6 points on that one. So you're at 9.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about that, Just Johnny?
Wait, we're on the same team.
I know. I'm celebrating with you, man.
It sounded like you were taking a dig at me.
I did stand up and yell into the mic, so I'm sorry. I get very... Carry on.
Very competitive.
That's right.
All right, we'll do one more and then the money ball. The money ball should get you some points.
All right.
All right, so this next one, first clue is Airbag.
That sounds like something that Blink 182 or something would come out with.
Yeah. We're gonna need another clue, I think.
Okay. The second clue is Lucky.
Lucky.
Very famous song.
Lucky I'm in love with my best friend. Are we talking Jason Mraz?
We're not.
Oh.
See, I have no idea what that is.
It's a good thing that wasn't a guess then, isn't it? Carry on.
All right. Third clue is Paranoid Android.
Oh, fucking!
You're gonna kick yourself in the ass now.
fucking Radiohead.
It is Radiohead.
Hey, album okay. Album okay. Computer.
It is. You got 4 points there.
Fucking whoop-de-doo, Radiohead.
All right.
They're in the same boat as U2 for me. You know that.
Really? I didn't know that.
And Coldplay.
Oh.
They're all just so fucking artistic. It makes me sick.
Ragging on YouTube for something else.
we don't put like choruses and verses, man. You know, we just play. Fuck you. Anyway, carry on.
All right. So here's the money ball. The first clue is Under My Voodoo.
Oh.
90s music.
Under My
90s
Voodoo.
music. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a thought immediately, but I don't want to roll with anything. Does anything come to mind for you, John?
Yeah, this is all you.
All right. Okay. Thanks for the support, bud. Next clue, then.
Doing Time.
Doing Time. I think I'm gonna kick myself for this. Doing Time. All right, keep going. Hit me again.
What I Got.
All right. So it's Sublime. Sublime.
It is. Yes.
Now
you got 4 points on that. So,
now the album was it just self-titled Sublime?
Yeah, it was.
All right. How many points did we finish with?
You got 4. It's 4. That's 8. 6. That's 14. And you got, let's see, you got 4 more on that. So you got 18 points.
We fucking rule. What do we win?
That's not bad. That's not bad. You win a nice little clap.
Woo!
Woo!
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Too kind. You're too kind.
I'll tell you what we'll do is I'll now. What was that? How many points again? 18.
Yeah.
We'll keep a note of that, and I'll make a music trivia game for you next time we pod together, and we'll see how you stand up against my quiz, and then we'll see what's up.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for preparing that. That was a great time. All right. What did we have next? We had our slang game. Now, what we'll do is, again, next time we come on, we'll mix it up, and we'll get a big list of Welsh slang for you. But I believe you prepared some for us, and let's see, because all I'm going to know is what I've seen in TV and movies. I'm going to be honest with you.
You see, I had a little bit of trouble. Coming up with this because, as you know, LA culture is Hollywood culture, and it goes out in movies, and you get to see, our what we talk about all the time in movies. So. There's a few that are maybe you have to be in the right neighborhoods to kind of know.
Yeah, some will be different.
But,
I mean, when you talked about you and Eb sitting out on the porch talking, I'm going to be honest. I immediately went to the Friday movie cover. Right?
It was a lot like that.
That's what I'm thinking because when you think if you haven't been to a place, you associate it with something you've seen, usually in a movie or portrayed in music. So when I heard that, I was like, well, that's what I'm picturing. So that's awesome. So let's hit us with some of that slang and see how we do. Just Jonny is, he's cool as fuck. So he's down with the kids and all that shit. So he's probably going to know most of these.
He's a worldly gentleman. I understand.
Correct. Now again, this is a final answer thing, Jonny. So don't just go spurting something out of your mouth.
All right. So the first one, plug.
Plug.
Is that? Oh, are we allowed to confer?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm going to say shoot someone plug a fool.
Doesn't he sound so hip when he says plug a fool? All right. I like that answer. I'm going for it. Plug.
It's actually not correct. I'm sure somebody might use it that way, but most people will say plug is a drug connection.
All right. So yo, can you get me a plug?
See,
yeah.
Over here, that means electrical socket in the wall, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that means that here too, but who uses it that way?
That's true. I'll just put it over by here in the plug, I will.
All right.
We're 0 for 1. We're 0 for 1, John.
0 for 1.
Hey, you give me attitude. You could have chimed up.
I am what I am, all right?
All right. So the next one is Toppy.
Toppy?
Toppy.
All right. Sounds
You might have heard this. You might have heard this in our podcast hundreds of times. Like we use that word a lot.
Toppy. All right. I immediately think of like a cartoon character, but that's the kind of way my brain works. What about you, John? What are you thinking for Toppy? Can we have it in the? Is there a way to have it in the sentence without giving it away?
No.
No, okay.
Impossible. If you guys don't know it right away, I'll give you a little bit of a helpful hand.
All right. Let's have that helpful hand.
Okay, so Floppy Toppy.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gone. I was thinking ice cream.
Like, because here we have Tip Tops, which is an ice cream.
Give me that cream on top. What's the toppy?
All right, I'm going to go with, what about cleavage? Maybe it's like titties. Like she had floppy toppy. Or a big booty or something. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm going to let you take this one. I took the last one. You could fail this one.
Well, it's singular.
Right,
it's not plural. It's singular. So I'm going to go with booty. I'm going to go with booty.
No, I'm sorry. I'll use it in a sentence. She gives the sloppiest of toppy.
All righty. We got just Johnny's attention.
Yeah, you're close though.
Yeah, I guess I was close somehow, I guess. But no, 0 for 2.
Another word for fellatio, essentially.
Fair enough.
Noted.
You guys are going to be walking around, saying toppy and, calling for your plug,
That's right. I'm sure just Johnny already just wrote down toppy.
That's burned into my mind now. I got that.
Nice.
All right. So this next one, gassed up.
Gassed up.
Gassed up. Yes.
See, now I don't think that is like, the car's full of petrol.
No. Now, when you hear gassed in like pro wrestling, for example, gassed means tired.
Gassed out.
But I'm going to go with, in my mind, when you say gassed up, I think of somebody that's like on steroids at the gym. And you're like, nah, fuck him. He's all gassed up.
Nah, I think that's juiced, isn't it?
You think that's juiced up? Okay.
From what I've read on the forums.
But couldn't it be both? What do you think? Gassed up. Either that or it's like heated, like he's fired up, gassed up,
Do you think high maybe?
High. All right, let's go with that.
Like
let's go with high.
Gas.
Let's go with as high as Jesus on the space shuttle.
You know what? I didn't realize it, but that also can be used in that term. It could be gassed up. I hit the gas and now I'm really high. But I meant it as in kind of pumped up. So like it's when like if you're talking to just Johnny and he's gonna go talk to a bird over here and you're trying to hype him up. You're gassing him up.
All right.
Like, you know what? You got this. You're gassing him up.
All right. Cool. We don't do anything.
You really don't know Matt at all, do you?
All right. Well, I like that one. We're not doing very well here.
No, we're really not.
But that's okay. At least we're sharing in our failure. It's good for our friendship.
All right, so I have one more. This one, I don't even know if a lot of people in the U.S. would know, but booling it.
Booling it.
Booling it. Yes.
Well, nothing comes to mind. I don't get any mental picture at all.
Because I don't know. He says booling it. It's gonna be like he's killing it. Like he's doing really well. Maybe.
Or is it the opposite? Like boo, he's not doing very well. Booling it. It's not like he's making like a beef stew. He's booling it. So, what do you think, Johnny? I'm letting you take this one.
Shit. Obviously not the food. Shit. I I don't want to do it. Too much pressure.
I told you about him and pressure, didn't I?
I'm gonna go with. See, I don't know, because it seems a little bit too not niche to be. Oh, he's doing really well. You know, slang is. Oh yeah, he's doing really well. Because you wouldn't use it. Nah, I seriously drawn a blank.
Come on, just pick one. You can do it.
Well, I'm not gonna go with cooking a stew.
All right. Look, man, if you don't throw ideas out, you don't know what bad ideas are. All right.
What was the other thing you said?
Doing something very poorly, like he's bullying.
We'll go with that then.
All right.
You're fucking up.
Fucking up.
Yeah.
Nah, so I'm gonna have to give you guys the history behind this, but it's essentially cooling it. But you know, out here, if you're a member of a certain gang that wears red, you replace the C's with B's quite often.
All right.
So it's essentially cooling it. So like hanging out, chilling, relaxing,
Maxing on, cooling on, shooting some b-ball outside. Sorry, you started it.
I did start it. I can't blame you for that. But so yeah, it's essentially cooling it, which means chilling, hanging out.
All right. We do a lot of that.
Be careful when you use that word. It can lead you to some trouble.
Well, especially if we're in your neck of the woods. But I don't think here it's going to have any trouble.
True.
I don't think we're bumping into any one of those groups here in South Wales.
No.
All right, I have one more for you guys.
Okay.
And cop.
Cop. I think
C-O-P.
I think I know this one, but I don't know. That's a silly sentence. Cop, like steal, like take. I'm gonna cop that. I'm gonna cop something. I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna acquire it. That's my guess. What do you think, John?
I'll go with that.
Okay.
You finally got one.
Yay.
It's exactly that. It's to acquire.
That's right.
Nice.
I'm gonna cop them Jordan 5s over there. Sometimes off his feet.
Yeah. I'm gonna cop a feel.
Oh,
I thought we were going to go political.
What?
That's all I got for you guys.
That was great. Thank you very much for doing that. That was awesome. That was a great time, even though we were not very good.
It's all right.
But on the return leg of our crossover, we'll go ahead and prepare slang for you, and I'll prepare a music quiz for you, and you can be on a team with Just Jonny.
Oh, God.
Okay.
You lucky motherfucker. Here he is.
I did so well.
Hey, this has been an awesome time. What do you guys think? Have you had fun?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. I know you wanted to scratch that podcast itch.
Yeah, I have, man. We haven't done it in quite a while, so I've just been wanting to, just talking to a microphone for a while. So hopefully we get back on it soon. My co-host Eb is trying to buy a house, and that's time consuming and difficult and expensive out here in California. So we're trying to do our best to get back on it and try to find some time for that. And especially now with me driving full time, and it's kind of hard to find a little bit of time. And we're trying to make it work though.
Yeah, and when that does happen, it's the Buffet Boys wherever you get your podcasts and on all social media, right?
Yep.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Buffet_Boys. Yeah. Buffet_Boys on Twitter and Instagram, and Buffet Boys on, Spotify, Apple Music, and all the other places you get your podcasts.
Nice. Very cool. And again, you got to just start hitting record in that car, because you won't always be an Uber driver, so it won't always be a liability. So get some tapes of those crazy motherfuckers, and in a couple of years, we'll do like a crazy Uber podcast series, like those true crime shits,
I'm actually in the process of getting a dash cam. So we'll see.
Nice.
We'll see what happens.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much. Just Jonny, your closing thoughts for the wonderful listeners out there in the universe.
Stay interesting.
Yes. Okay, great. Now, I also want to know, because in the last 3 months, 12% of our listens have come from Switzerland.
Switzerland.
So you magnificent Switzerland Swiss motherfuckers, thank you so much. Hit us up at Legend Podcast on Twitter so we know who you are. We just want to know,
Same
right?
with that, was it one guy from Ukraine?
Still listening. 1% of Ukraine still out there representing. Thank you very much. Didn't we say if he got in touch with us, we'd give him a prize?
We did. We have to like step up the prize to see if we can get in touch.
We also said we would send Harvey Locust a prize a long time ago. So
yeah, we did.
Harvey, I handed it all over to John. It's on him. Anyway, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to your favorite podcaster's favorite podcast. And check us out on the IHOP Network. And we're very happy to be a part of that. Some fantastic podcasts on there. And speaking of fantastic podcasts, thanks again to our boy for joining us this week. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Matt Lees.
I've been Just John.
Yo, Vic,
you
man.
messed it up.
Vic, man, you messed it up. You messed up the ending.
Oh, no, I was thinking you messed it up. Because don't you say that he's been...
All right, so we'll start again. But come on, ready? All right. So he's been Just Jonny.
He's been Matt Lees. Oh, that means Big Scott.
No, see, now you, John. Now you messed it up. You talked over his line.
Yeah, but he's got to say himself. That's just rude.
No, I think it's funny. That's a good bit.
All right, take 3. Ready? He's been Just John.
He's been Vic.
No, you fucked it up now.
Well, no, because it's a circle. Wait,
I think
so am I doing you and Vic's doing
I think we're just doing...
Yeah, it's a bit.
You're embarrassing me in front of the buffet boy.
Stop embarrassing me in front of the wizard.
All right. I've been Matt Lees.
He's been Just John.
And I'm just Vic.
There you go. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Because you said your name.
What?
You usually say my name and I say your name. Don't we?
All right, take 4. Fuck.
Fucking hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's been Just Jonny.
He's been Matt Lees.
And I'm Vic.
Please get the fuck off of my podcast. Bye-bye.
Legend in my spit.
I thought you were going to pause then.
Why? All right. We're not doing it again.
No, I'm sure you can put some together.
I'm sure I can. Hey, you lovely smart listener. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The guy or girl still listening? You clever girl or guy? Listen, in the vein of the Marvel movies or Not Another Nerdy Podcast, the lesson here is always stay after the credits. Always stay after the credits. You got that? I think you got that. It's cool to finally be able to collab. So how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I just had a long night of Uber driving last night, and I think one of my passengers got me a little sick. But other than that, I'm pretty good, man.
Oh, man. That must make for so many podcast stories, though, man.
You know what? It's funny you say that because we actually, before we went on our little hiatus, we started a little segment called Uber Corner, and it's just funny and interesting stories that I've had. I'm starting doing this rideshare business, and it makes for good content.
A lot of when you're a podcaster, a lot of your life is led by, it'll make a good podcast story at least. So we're looking forward to when the Buffet Boys hiatus is over and you're back at it so we can hear those stories. But for the time being, maybe you can tell some to us later.
Oh, yeah, most of them are kind of tame, but sometimes, like last night, for instance, I had one group of gentlemen, and they knew awfully lot about their each other's genital parts. They were kind of talking about how, this guy is a little thicker than the other, this guy's not as long as the other, and I was kind of sitting there, and I don't judge, I just drive. And one of the gentlemen just volunteers information saying, oh, we're cousins. That's why we know so much about each other. And that just brought more questions to my head.
Yeah, I didn't need that part. This is weird enough already.
Yeah.
anything, it's kind of that makes it worse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I just have a lot more questions, but I'll just keep driving.
It literally sounds like the dudes we work with who frequently show each other their junk and will describe each other's junk. It's nothing. Like they're talking about, did you see his X-Men t-shirt? They're like, no, his is more round and more thick it is, but mine's a lot longer than that one. Yeah, but he's got really big testicles, that one.
The freckles on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think for just John, just in your head, count how many times you've seen all of their junk. Just roughly.
Easily double digits.
Because they're just happy to just be like,
Easily.
Hey, they're happy to just take it out. We recently were given at our work some bags to keep things in if you find them around on the floor. Because, we make airplane parts, the two of us. So you have to pay a lot of attention to like things that are laying around, extra screws, nails, anything like that. Can't get stuck in a plane seat. Because if it goes up on a plane and it rattles, they have to stop the plane to figure out what the rattle is. Anyway, they give us these bags for that purpose. Immediately, dudes are just sticking their junk in these bags. And I think Just Jonny got played like within minutes, didn't you? Within minutes. You tell what happened.
I was laughing and joking with them, saying, you should do this. And then they're like, they can't because of what he found out there. It would cut into him. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what he found out online. Like, he's going to go show the bosses. I was like, what the fuck did you find? And it was just cocking there. I'm like, fuck, how did I not fall for it? Like, how did I not think, wait, no.
Oh, you fell for it again.
They were like, we can't because of what he found. I was like, oh, shit, what did you find? Thinking, I don't know, it was going to be like a machete. I don't know what it was. No, it's your cock.
Just your cock.
That reminds me of a Buffet Boys episode where you talked about the iPhone image drop or whatever it was. And it was, what are you doing, girl? Dick pic.
Oh, you know what? It's funny because that kind of came about because I was at the gym, and
you dirty motherfucker.
When you carry your phone around, sometimes you accidentally press buttons, and I accidentally pressed the photo button, and it actually did look an awful lot like a bell end, if you will. And it accidentally, I was talking to Eb, and it accidentally sent that way. So I promise you, I'm not that type of guy. I'm not a scummy motherfucker just sending random ass dick pics. I promise.
That's weird because Just Jonny has sent me dick pics.
Oh shit.
See, now I can't remember this, but I'm fairly adamant that I've never ever sent a male friend, I have to emphasize male friend, a dick pic. Testicles, loads of times.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever sent, I'm pretty sure I've never sent a dick pic.
Now tell me if I'm wrong.
Maybe to Frodo.
Did I see you show a picture of your testicles at work the other day?
No, that wasn't me. That was young boy Nathan's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong, Vic. It's somebody else's balls he was showing. That makes it okay.
Oh, okay, that's passable.
Yeah, that's different, I guess.